Hi there, welcome. So today I thought I would do a quick sketchbook tour. It's this sketchbook here, and I started this sketchbook specifically to loosen up my art style. In order to do that, I sort of had to give myself some space to experiment and play, allow myself to do some pretty ugly art, which I do call this my ugly sketchbook. It's an artist loft sketchbook just from Michael's. It was really cheap. That was the other thing. I didn't want an expensive sketchbook because I just wanted to do whatever I wanted. So that worked really, really well for me. And what I did with this sketchbook, because the pages were so thin, I glued the pages together actually with a glue stick. And you can see like that's a lot thicker. And it worked great. You know, they wrinkled and warped and everything with water, but it made a huge difference. I hope you enjoy and let me know what you think in the comments. We'll go through it and I'll tell you all about it. I started this sketchbook with some pretty specific goals. I wanted to do the 100-day project through Instagram. So I wanted to make sure that my goals were to draw something every day, experiment with much looser style and mediums, do illustrations that were for the children's book industry, and be free to do any ugly or experimental artwork that I wanted to. And that was really important to allow myself to do that. I also completed this between June 2023 and December 2023. This is actually an old illustration I had done, and I like the looseness of it in the sort of ink drawing. And so I redid it and used some wax crayons, micron ink. That was day one. So that just sort of got me going originally with it. And this one was sort of another similar one that was also very ugly that I just can't seem to make look nice or the way I wanted to. So anyway, it was day two, and I used, again, I think the wax crayon and some other stuff with that. And then I started to do some illustrations for Edward Lear's Book of Nonsense. So it's just a whole bunch of fun poetry that he's done. This was just one of his poems here. There was an old person of sky who waltzed with a blue bottle fly. They buzzed a sweet tune to the light of the moon and entranced all the people of sky. And so I did a quick drawing in pencil crayon, and then I redid it. I'll show it to you there. This was another one, this little girl here with her clogs and her dogs. So that was kind of fun. And I had put another copy of it there because I'd started originally in a different sketchbook and did a couple of those in there. And so then I just put them all in here because I wanted this sketch to have all of the sketches in it. This is the one that I redid again. And then I did it with a dip pen and water-soluble crayons. And I don't know if I used some watercolor gouache in there too. This was just a quick drawing that I did with, I think, Posca markers there. And then a couple little bear drawings that I did. This little guy I did for day something. I don't know. And then I came back and I had these spaces in the book. Then I just filled them in with some other drawings I just wanted to do. So just sort of a realistic drawing of bears. Oh, that's these guys here that I put in day 7, day 9. And just having fun. This is the original one, was Posca with a micron pen and just more pencil sketches. Another drawing from Edward Lear's Book of Nonsense, just with pencil crayon. Just trying to do things sort of differently and have fun. So this was sort of the beginning of all of that. Normally I draw and illustrate in a very tight way with a lot of detail. So for me to loosen up, it's kind of challenging. This was a very ugly drawing that I did very, very quickly. And then this one here was another poem from his book. And this is kind of where I reverted back to like what I normally do, which is like something like tighter, not so loose. Like you can see, I just drew this out of my imagination. I think I wrote, not in the right style, too realistic. And so it's just like, I wanted something more loose and fun. I enjoyed doing this. It was a cute little one, but I wanted to go more in this direction over here. So here I kind of started using more loose stuff again. I think this is just gouache. Oh yeah, it's gouache with Conte on it, black Conte, white Conte. I think some pencil crayon in there as well. This one was fun. He's going too far the other direction. Like that's too kind of like primary, like childlike for what I really want to be doing. I'm just sort of trying to find the method that I really want to use through this. This is just a bunch of drawings that I had done in my other sketchbook when I was working on some ideas for some drawings, like there's a little bear that I ended up doing and a couple other little characters. So I just put them in here, so I have them all in there. Also, I was working on just sort of, drawing things in a bit of a different style as well. So that was part of this too. Oh, this is the little bear here that I did, which I ended up liking this direction I was going in. This is gouache and Conte, which I really like together. And the one thing I'm not as fond of this are the sort of really saturated dark colors. I like all the colors together. They are nice in contrast to each other. But the dark green and this dark reddish rose, and it's just not exactly what I was kind of going for. But it's a step in another direction, and again, more experimentation. So it was good. Here I was just playing again with those water-soluble crayons and using a dip pen and just doing sort of these line drawing, really loose and fun characters. They're so different from some of my other work. But I really enjoyed doing them. It's lots of fun. This one I actually wanted to do something on some cold press watercolor paper. This is the original one right here. I made a copy of it so I could put it in my sketchbook. But I just did this on cold press watercolor paper just to see if I like the texture, because typically I work on very flat paper, either hot press watercolor paper, or in the past I've often worked on hot press illustration board, or I really like Strathmore's Bristol paper as well. It doesn't take the water as well as watercolor paper, but in the way I work, it works well actually. But this was fun. I used, some of the texture of the paper sort of with this, and this is gouache and pencil crayon with Conte, I think, as well. So yeah, lots of fun that one was too. This was a very quick one. So a lot of the times, because I was trying to make sure that I was doing a drawing a day, I would, it would be at night and I would be very tired and I would just do something really fast. So it helped me to stay loose, which was good. This again, I think, yeah, this is the Posca markers with Conte. So just a little fun little thing. This was really fun, and I like kind of the direction I was going with this. This is gouache, and this is Conte, I think, on the bottom here, and then I wet it here with some water. And I like, this kind of reminds me of a 50s illustration a little bit. And I like that. I like the looseness of it. It has a lot of energy and character. And then this, because he's down below and it's kind of dark, it's a little fire. It's not quite done. Here I did the bees again. I didn't like the colors. So the colors I have for these water-soluble crayons are just really bright colors. Like they're really meant for kids. This set, it was a very, very cheap and expensive set that I got. And I just wanted to play around with them. It is what it is. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just put that on here, because I had then gone and done these drawings, and just trying to look at them together didn't work for me. So I was like, how do I make that interesting? So I added that to the little window, and then put some little drawings I had done on here as well when I was doing that. And then these are just watercolor pencil crayon, just some little drawings about a robin and her little friend here. How they're spending time together, and then she reads about robins and realizes the robins have to fly south at the end of the summer, so that's a little bit sad. Oh, and this was just a full page spread. Pretty sure it's gouache and Conte and pencil crayon, so I just had fun with it. Nothing, crazy. It's really, everything in here is basically like a rough piece of artwork for maybe something I might do as a larger, more finished piece later, sort of. Unless I really feel like the looseness of it is okay. I don't know. It's tough. Anyway, then I did these two little guys. We're at day 26 and 27 at this point. Rosy Maple Moth and a Luna Moth. What do we have? Posca marker, ink, and pencil crayon for those little guys. And then this one I had some black ink left over when I was doing some artwork. And so I used it on this page and then just did a hickory dickory dock little quick drawing in there. And it is micron pen and ink and water-soluble crayons. I think that's probably about it. Oh no, there's some white Conte in there. There's a few things in there, some different mediums. These guys, yeah, I'm really not a fan of, but hey, it's my ugly sketchbook, so playing around, doing them twice in different ways. Not really happy with either, but it's okay. This little guy, he's fine. Watercolor, Conte, and pencil crayon. He's a cute little character. And I liked, he's very loose. I like, his character, the way he sort of comes across in the drawing, which is important. And yeah, the colors are sort of okay. They're a little bit lighter, which is a little better. So sort of, heading somewhere. These, again, it was super late at night and I had to do a drawing because I was really trying to stick to it. And I did this little girl just with a black marker, just some markers really, and just drew her. I don't even know what she was from. And then the next day, again, I didn't have a lot of time, so I did a little boyfriend for her there. And then over here, I thought, why don't I spend some time doing like a little character sketches? And so this little cat, I've done him before for other things. I thought I'll do him in some different, poses and doing some different things. So he was a lot of fun to do. At first I did the drawings, I think, for one of the days, or for some of the days actually. And then some of the days following that, I did the color part of it. So I think it's watercolor or gouache for most of that, and it's a brown, like a sepia colored micron pen that he's drawn in. So that was a lot of fun to do that. Oh, and then I did him as his own little happy guy. And I like this illustration. Again, I don't love the dark, but I wanted the contrast, so it's just something for me to work on, I think, when I'm doing stuff like that. But I do really like all of this. I like the sort of gestural quality of the line and mark making in here and everything. So that was a fun one, and I'm pleased with a lot of that. That's gouache, Conte, and pencil crayon for that one. And this one was a lot of fun. I had, again, some acrylic paint left over, so I put that down. And then I used markers. I used alcohol markers and water-based markers on this, Conte and pencil crayon. So they all sort of reacted differently on top of the acrylic paint, but I really liked the effect of it. It was just a sort of fun, very quick interpretation of Rembrandt's self-portrait. Not to offend Rembrandt, but it was just fun to do that. Oh, and then I kept doing a few more other artist portraits here, just in like really silly ways. Again, this is terrible, but another Rembrandt, Frida Kahlo, Van Gogh, and Emily Carr, who is Canadian, and I just absolutely love and adore Emily Carr, her artwork and her writing, just amazing. So anyway, those were a lot of fun to do. Actually enjoyed that. Oh, I won't bore you with this, but partway through I just did like a sort of a self-evaluation of my thoughts and progress. And maybe I'll do something with all of this another time in another way. And this is just sort of how I evaluated some of it. I wanted to make some choices about the mediums I was using and how I was using. I wanted to reevaluate my intentions and give myself some positive quotes. And so that was a lot of fun and worked really well. So eventually I will make a Patreon and I'll do stuff like that on there for everybody, or even review that. So we're at day 51, 52, 53, and I thought I'll do some more sort of character studies. I just did these sort of quick little, very, fun little people, and playing with how I might want to do them. Really don't like that at all. So then I was like, okay, take it back to the basics and draw with pencil crayon loosely, but do it this way. So I kind of go back and forth that way a little bit. Did that, did her, who I really like her. She's cute, and her little puppy there. Actually, it's her little wolf pup. And then I did this with this is with the water soluble crayons and the dip pen. I think that's it. And I did really enjoy this. This was fun to do. It was almost experimental. And, I wanted to use colors that weren't exactly, not accurate, but still would sort of reflect light in the image and just be fun. And so I ended up just doing this, and I enjoy it actually. I like this one quite a bit. Ended up doing these guys. My daughter went to Hawaii, and so I did a little I did a little surfing turtle. I did him twice because I think I drew him here first, and then I thought I'll do in color. I'm kind of getting back to like my roots, which is like just falling back into that tighter thing here a little bit. And then I did this, which is sort of again like that with these guys. But I had this image that came to mind. I forget why. And so I really wanted to do that. And this I really love. And it's basically just like a study for a bigger piece or something that maybe I'll do another time again as well. And this is, I think this was just watercolor and ink. Could have been gouache, but I think it's watercolor and ink on that. Just like a quick drawing of this little fairy girl and her bee friend. Oh, and this something made me think of this when I was a kid. My grandparents lived by a forest, and there were this fungi that grew on the trees. And I used to draw on it as a kid. I would pick it off and flip it over and get a stick and draw on it. And I loved it. It was so fascinating, and it worked so well. It was really cool. And I had never looked it up to see what it was. And it's called the Ganoderma aplanatum. That would be the Latin name, scientific name, otherwise known as artist bracket, artist conch, artist fungus, bear bread. And so I guess it's been used by artists for a long time. So that was pretty interesting. This is just a quick little pencil sketch of it, but fun. Just another really fast day. I just did these quick sort of stylized little drawings with my Posca markers. Don't love them. Don't love these at all either. But again, just playing around. I saw a red spotted newt on the road when we were walking down the road one day. And so I did a little drawing of him, a couple little ones there. Tried to do something this way with pencil crayon, and I really didn't enjoy that at all. So that wasn't fun. Here, I'm just playing more, testing styles. So a lot of the times I'll draw the same subject matter in different ways just to test drawing style. So I think that's the water-soluble crayons again. And I just tried this really rough style, which, I just don't love. To me, it's just not challenging enough. It's too basic. It just doesn't give me the self-satisfaction that I need when I'm creating artwork. So, I need something in between that. So I kept working on that, and then just did all these different little drawings of lions. And then here I thought, okay, give myself something easy to do. I'll just paint out a lion real quick. So I just did him over there. And then August 30th, we had the super blue moon. So I just did one of us. Well, basically that's kind of like a little me with our dog. We have a very large Maremma, and he's so sweet. It's him in there. And this is sort of like like a witch, Harry Potterish, I don't know, whatever you want to relate it to. And she's just going around creating beautiful things in the world. So she has, I like to use this metallic gold paint once in a while, just in special instances like this where it's fun. One of the things I'd evaluated back on these other pages back here, my evaluation, was to work on drawing style and do a little bit better artwork rather than just experimenting and ending up with ugly stuff all the time. And so, learn from what I had been doing with all of the different mediums and then practice, doing things. So I did a little bit more of a proper drawing here with the girl and everything. The medium is just gouache, I think, with Conte or some kind of marker. I can't even tell. And probably a bit of pencil crayon. Not experimental and nothing great, but anyway, getting somewhere, maybe. This again, don't love either of these at all. Just playing around. I just cut a little stamp for this to do that. In this one, I had extra black acrylic paint, so I put it down, and then I came back in at some point and just did these little drawings. So there's chalk on here, probably some Conte. I think I drew this with Conte and white pencil crayon and, you know, different pencil crayon there. And these are done from photographs. So just for fun and kind of almost like a break for me to do that. Photo credit is Daniel App Pavels, I think. Here I was working on the word sneaky. So, I mean, I just did a very, very fast, like, drawing with some pencil crayons for sneaky. Just did some mushrooms, you know, just something really fast and easy, just playing, just to keep myself in the project and doing what I needed to do. Here I did a little bit better drawing for sneaky, just a little bit, spent a little bit more time on something. This drawing here is from Fox and the Magpie on Instagram. She had done a Draw This in Your Style, and she had done a really cute stylized mouse with a lamp at night. So I did it in my own style, and then after I did that, and I'll show you the finished one coming up, I really liked kind of the mouse and sort of some of the details of it. So I did a couple of other little drawings there and then played around with some other types of things. This is pencil under here with some watercolor, I think. Watercolor or gouache over top of that. And you'll see these little strawberry pants show up a lot. When I was a kid in the 70s, I had little strawberry pants that I just loved. And so they show up sometimes. A couple more quick drawings. The mole. So I have him here in a couple places. Pencil crayon. These two are done with pencil and shaded with pencil first, and then I've gone over with pencil crayon. And I liked the effect of that a lot, actually. It was nice. It's very detailed and not as loose as some of the other stuff, so I'm still trying to figure out what I really like with all of that. This was the drawing for the Draw This in Your Style, the little mouse, just a black and white one. Sorry, the sun keeps going in and out on this, so I know it's not the best lighting. Hoping it's okay. But that was a fun one to do that I just sort of allowed myself to kind of do however I wanted to do it, which was good. So I enjoyed that. So the drawing is stylized, although the rendering is tight. So it's sort of half and half with that one. And again, I just did the another drawing with the same kind of mouse. And I really enjoyed this. This detail up here, let me show you. You can see, sorry about the shadows. I'm trying to let you see that. I really liked how that turned out. I think it was pencil, shaded pencil with gouache overlaid, most of that. But I enjoyed that effect and a lot of how that turned out, especially for a nighttime scene like that. Actually, it was fun. So then I ended up doing these. This girl, oh, I just do not like that one at all. So let's just forget about her. This boy, I really liked. This is where, so I think I did this one. Yeah, I did this one first. And I was like, this is not where I want to go, but it's sort of heading in some kind of a direction, you know? And then I did this one, and this is much more of where I was kind of wanting to head. So I really was pleased with him, like with a lot of these different details. The, you know, way the arms and legs are kind of formed and the hands, the eyes and everything. I just like that a lot. Oh yeah, and I put him with the mouse just as a fun little drawing. That's just with the sepia colored micron. And then I did this with him, which I really like this one. This is one of my most favorite drawings in here, or illustrations in the sketchbook, really. I enjoy how he's sort of done with a little bit of detail, although stylized. And then this around here is sort of in that like looser, more messy style that I was doing. I did an underlay of, I think, yellow and then this really bright orange because this is at night. I just wanted that sort of reflecting light and that underglow, and just did sort of a stylized scenery of trees and then darkness for the building, house, whatever it is, and then him kind of reading there. So it was just a very loose and fun piece that I did, and enjoyed that one quite a bit actually. It was fun. It's interesting where you end up when you're just playing around all the time with the stuff. This one, a little bit more highly rendered again. So hard to catch myself with that. So I did a fun little drawing. This is sort of like me as a kid, I guess. I was always in my room drawing. And many of these papers wouldn't just be laying on the floor, they'd be crumpled or ripped up because I just would get so frustrated. Keep going, keep going. Anyway, it was kind of fun. So I enjoyed her, but I also acknowledged that I was getting tight again. And so then I was like, I have to loosen up a bit, and did these, which I really, really enjoy. So I really like this one, was quite fun. I'll show it to you this way too. But it's much more stylized in the drawing, which I really liked. And then I like the colors are muted and fun, and it's not highly rendered. The lines are loose, and this is sketchy. This was Posca marker, red pencil crayon, and then I think other pencil crayon on here as well. Maybe there's some pencil in here and probably some gouache in there as well. So that was a lot of fun to do. I really enjoyed that. And then I just kept going with more of these, just playing around with other, elements of these different drawings. And then I just decided to do a page of these antique folk art patterns. And they were really fun to do. Just something almost mindless. So I just looked up all kinds of different old pieces of textiles, actually, is what most of them are from. Some of them are from old illustrations and things like that. And then I would take pieces out, or I would just stylize it myself, or whatever. And so I wanted to do that so I would have some kind of reference point for other images that I might use in illustration. And I wouldn't exactly use them this way because it's with ink and kind of tight, but depending. And I think I've used a couple of those, and I'll still come back to them, I'm sure. And then here, I think I had reached 100 days when I did this one, I believe. And so I wanted to do like a full illustration. These guys, I wanted to do some owls in some different ways, and so I played around with them. You can see they're all different. This one has a wing and the little normal feet, and this one has like legs and people feet and arms. This one's a little bit different. It's kind of a combination, and this one's sitting in a, armchair by the fire. So it was just fun to experiment with those a little bit. And then this one was fun to do. Again, it's just kind of stylized. I feel obviously these owls are tightly drawn, but I kind of like the contrast between that and the colors. I love the colors in this, and I've got some metallic paint in there. Not sure if you can see it. Sorry, I'm getting shadows, but I'm trying to do this in the sun so you get nice light and color. But this was fun to do. I really enjoyed doing this, and I enjoyed the colors and just having fun with the whole idea of it, really. So it was fun. Yep, that was 100. This was the original one I had done of these guys. I thought I had lost it because it was it was on a piece of paper, actually. And so I redid the other one that was way back in the beginning there. When I found it, I decided to put it in here. Yep, that was day 100. And that one was gouache, pencil crayon, pigment pen, and gold paint pen. Just acknowledging to myself and giving myself a little congratulations that I reached 100 days. This page I had see, so let me show you actually. This is the paper glued together. This is 2 pieces, and it's worked so well. I really love that, especially for a cheap sketchbook, and it really helps me to just do whatever. This page, I missed a page and didn't glue it together, so I folded it over and ripped it and then put one of my favorite poems in there by Edgar Allan Poe. Eventually, I'll do some drawings in there to go with that. And then here I wanted to write some ideas for drawing sets and series, just to reference if I was looking for something to draw and didn't have anything. And then I did Folktale Week and did this little cover page for it. I think it's mostly gouache and pencil crayon. And this page is Lost. So I'm drawing her sort of in the way of the little boy, loose, not loose, sorry, stylized, a little bit tight. Wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do as far as painting her in. The next word was ink. And so I have a little sort of story going on with this here. I enjoy drawing in the red pencil crayon a lot of the time, especially then going over it with color is a lot of fun. But I'm still kind of tight with this stuff, so it is what it is. But I really just wanted to have fun doing it. This is C. So her little sidekicks are kind of with her here. You can see in most of these little drawings. So that was kind of fun to do. This was Sleep, and this one I really enjoyed doing again. It's kind of like, you know, something you do for a graphic novel, which I thought was a lot of fun. I've written a whole bunch of stories, children's books, summer picture books, and I'm working on another one right now that would be like a novel for young readers. I wouldn't do it as a graphic novel because it's going to have way too many words, but I have thought about it, doing something as a graphic novel. Anyway, this kind of reminded me of that, and I think would be so fun. What a fun style this would be to do it in. So really, basically what I've been doing, but maybe in a little bit more with the more graphic colors because I enjoy all of this. It was fun. This one was Illusion, just another quick sketch that I did in color. And this was Underground. And this was Found, just a drawing I didn't finish there. I don't know if you can see it. And these are the thumbnails for the drawings that I did previously. So I did all my thumbnails, like set out a spread just for the thumbnails. I'll get a little closer so you can hopefully see them there. This is how I like to work when I'm planning illustrations. I'll always do everything as a thumbnail to begin with. And then I'll make changes to whatever it is I need to make, or I'll do a whole bunch of different thumbnails and pick out the ones I like best. And then I just wanted to keep doing some more stuff and did some really kind of easy drawings of some vintage photos just in pencil crayon, just fun, simple, quick line drawings. And then I did a quick pencil sketch of him as if he were running as a character. So that's kind of a fun way to use drawings like this. This was just another one. Again, just, I don't know if you can see it, it's so light. Just another pencil crayon drawing of a vintage photo. Just a quick drawing of a girl. I think there was a girl's face I saw a photo of and sort of incorporated her face and then just gave her some clothes and hair and that there. I had some extra paint here that I put down, and this is just a Posca marker, and then I was drawing some of those flowers from the other page that I showed you previously too. And then I think that's about it. So thanks so much for joining me. It was a lot of fun to show you my kind of more ugly sketchbook. I hesitated to show this because it's not the work that I would put out there to show people, but I think it's important to show progress and experimentation and to show how I'm doing it and what I'm working on from time to time, because I know I'm going to show all kinds of different stuff on my channel, and a lot of it'll be nicer finished stuff, but it's important to see that you have to take time to make experiments and to do some ugly art, quite frankly, just to do some ugly art. So good luck, and I hope this inspires you to do your own artwork as well. Have a great day. Bye.